Live from Southwest Florida's news leader, this is Wink News This Morning.
Coming up on Wink News this morning at 5, a witness to a deadly hit-and-run crash comes forward for the first time. He tells Wink News what he saw.
I couldn't even think about living with myself if I was in Mr. Costello's situation.
Wink News is also learning new details from the newly released arrest report of the man deputies say is responsible.
2 people are accused of robbing and shooting a survivor from the Club Blue mass shooting. Wink News will have her terrifying story for you in just a couple of minutes.
And some people here in DeSoto County are trapped, and this is the only way in and out of their home. Details ahead on Wink News.
Now, Wink weather on the ones.
And thanks so much, Kristen. And obviously, we're going to hope that we get these scattered showers and storms away from DeSoto County, so that way the waters can recede and they can dry out a bit. But we do have that potential for areas of rain for today. Who would have thought, right? Surprise, surprise. 91 degrees for the high temperature, and clouds will increase, especially by late this morning and also into this afternoon. Now, most areas are dry to start. We have most of the rain on the East Coast, but this morning I have seen a little bit of activity, a couple sprinkles, a little bit of light rain just west of Lake Okeechobee, but that has since fallen apart around Highway 27. Take you outside right now, a couple passing clouds, 75 degrees, wind out of the east-northeast at 5 to 10, so a nice little breeze to start the day. And the Mikey meter, the dew point, really has not changed the past 24 hours. And I've been looking at cold fronts for you. I have not seen any that are projected to move in over the next 7 to 10 days. So I hate to say it, we will continue to remain humid at least for the next week and a half. Temperatures right now, mid to upper 70s. Lehigh Acres at 73. Punta Gorda at 74. And right now we're starting in the mid 70s for Lee County all the way towards Collier County. So for this morning, a couple and a few areas of rain will be possible. Very hit or miss and very spotty. But honestly, most areas will be dry. But keep in the back of your mind that we at least have that potential for a couple areas of rain, especially inland and east of I-75. So still keep and make those morning plans, but just periodically check the radar. It's going to be by this afternoon and by this evening, we will see our typical hit or miss scattered areas of rain, and that is when we will have our better opportunity for showers and storms. Rain could be heavy at times with some occasional lightning and some gusty winds. So to recap your Wednesday, halfway through the week, that's definitely some good news. 91 degrees, but when you factor in that humidity, it will feel even hotter than that. Therese?
All right, Matt, thank you. Let's start off with a look across Lee County at the roadways here. First off, we did just get within the past few minutes, 5 minutes or so ago, a crash out on I-75 at mile marker 146, which is about 3 miles north of the exit to Bayshore Road here in North Fort Myers. It's on the southbound side. Few emergency units responding to it, but we'll get you a look at there as quickly as we can. Meantime, a construction zone sticking around early this morning is blocking the right lane heading eastbound on Pine Island Road between 41 and Business 41. That's Cleveland Avenue and Tamiami Trail. So keep in mind, heading eastbound in this area, you will see a little bit of blockage just in that right lane. Other than that, crossing the bridges doesn't look too bad. Just some slight delays closer to the stretch of Business 41 northbound up toward Pine Island Road. That's your Wink News traffic.
Right now, there's more than half a dozen homes in DeSoto County blocked off because of this flooding right across their street. It's got families trapped in this area, and neighbors are particularly worried about a 100-year-old man who's among those stuck. Wink News reporter Kristen Sanchez. She's in Arcadia Forest this morning, where it's all happening. Morning.
Good morning, Rob. Now let's give you a look at exactly where this is happening, where that 100-year-old man is trapped. Right now I'm standing on a dirt road and it's completely crumbled from the last several days of heavy rain. And just take a look behind me. This is flowing water over what used to be a private road. Now again, this is the only way in and out of their community. Now right now, the 7 families, including that 100-year-old man, they've been cut off because of this high water. The road has been washed out since Monday night. Now, neighbors tell Wink News they're frustrated. The road is completely gone, and even though it's private, they feel like they should get some help. Now, just 3 days ago, they said they spent more than $3,000 to lay down gravel, but the people who live here are concerned because fire and EMS, they can't get to them in an emergency, and especially for one man, again, who is 100 years old and a diabetic.
EMS can't even get to us if something should happen. His nurse can't come here because of the way the situation is.
Now, the problem is DeSoto County says their hands are tied because this is a private road, and the state says that they can't do anything because they're not in a state of emergency. Now, the neighbors hope that they reconsider. For now, reporting live in DeSoto County, I'm Kristen Sanchez. Wink News now.
This morning, utility crews in Tallahassee make some progress on restoring power to the city. Right now, there are more than 16,000 customers still without power. That's a large improvement from the 150,000 who were in the dark Friday after Hermine made landfall.
Developing story this morning at 5:05. Some inappropriate social media messages might cost a Lee County deputy his job. The sheriff's office is now investigating a potentially racially charged and political Facebook post on Deputy Charles Quackenbush's page. Sheriff Mike Scott says he's instructed Internal Affairs to investigate. Quackenbush is also the vice chairman of the Lee County Republican Executive Committee. He got suspended from his job a few years ago for taking free food from a Taco Bell in Lehigh Acres. Quackenbush had to resign as California's insurance commissioner in 2000 amid allegations he steered money from insurance company towards his wife's political career. He was, though, never charged. The last patient from the Orlando terror attacks, they are back home this morning. The Orlando Regional Medical Center able to confirm this news on Twitter. The hospital says it treated 35 patients from the shooting and completed 76 operations. It was last month that the Orlando Health and Florida Hospital both announced they're not going to bill the survivors for any of their out-of-pocket medical expenses. Next Monday will mark 3 months since the suspect walked into the Pulse nightclub and opened up fire, killing 49 and injuring many more than that.
Deputies say these two men offered to help a survivor of the Club Blue mass shooting, but then apparently they opted to rob her and nearly killed her. News anchor Sean Kreisman is joining us now in the studio with those details. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Jen. The survivor we're talking about is Nia McGriff. She was the headlining performer the night of the tragic shooting at the teen party in July. She got a phone call asking if she wanted protection. Investigators say when Nia met up with the two in Lehigh Acres, one of those suspects pulled a gun and took more than $1,000 in cash from her. She was able to run, get away, drive away, but then the suspects opened fire, hitting the car she was in and causing her to crash. She ended up with a cut on her arm, but she's otherwise okay. We did reach out to her, but she says she isn't ready to talk just yet. She did post on Facebook saying this: she almost died, and her car was shot up with her in it. We checked, and both of the men here are still in jail this morning. 19-year-old Joseph Whites is being held on $250,000 bond. 20-year-old Taraji Ford is being held on $150,000 bond. Also this morning, we can also tell you Club Blue will not reopen. The Fort Myers Clerk of Courts confirms they are no longer in business. Whoever killed the two teens that night and shot 18 others, they are still on the loose. Jen.
Cannabis for canines? Yeah, you heard that right. But the question this morning, is it legal? The answer is coming up.
And we're going to focus on your forecast as well. Wink News meteorologist Matt Devitt back with our next Weather on the Ones in 3 minutes. It's 5:08.